First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Chuck Lester is the deputy mayor in Ilion and is on the line right now. Chuck, good morning. Thanks for we're changing gears, by the way, officially for all that Chuck isn't calling in on UFOs. Good morning, Chuck. Good morning.
Morning, Bill.
All right. What's the story on Duofold?
We have a purchase offer from some developers, and they've offered us $100,000 for the property. They're going to have for once the agreement is all in place, they got a 120-day due diligence to go through whatever they want to go through. John Pizak asked them, after presenting all the information that we've gleaned from the various DEC and DOH and all those investigations, we've given them all that information, and John asked them, what are they looking for? And said, we don't know. But they're very, very well-respected developers. They are from the area, and they like the area, and they like to give back. So this is huge for the village of Ilion, as well as the surrounding area. A piece of property that's been sitting for 30 years is now going to be developed.
You know, at one point, my grandmother worked at Duofold. And
my wife's aunt worked there, too.
And then I know that you know the exact same thing I'm going to say here, is that at Christmas time, we all had Duofold underwear and long johns.
I still got some union suits from Duofold.
They had the one-piecers that were red. And
what was Duofold?
Duofold was like long underwear, stuff you'd wear outdoors when you're going skiing or something.
How does that company not survive Central New York?
I know. And by the way, if you remember, Chuck, they were one of the official sponsors of the Olympics. They provided warm wear for all of the Olympic athletes in Lake Placid.
Wow.
So
well,
I mean,
that building has had a multitude of different business operations throughout its career.
Okay,
and
I guess I didn't know that.
Historical significance there. These developers are not interested at all in tearing the building down. It's been virtually, the way it's described to me is it's a building within a building. The structure itself is sound. There's some deterioration inside that can easily be wrapped up because I say it's like a building inside a building.
Well, you'd expect though that the toxins in that, I mean, would they have to clean all that out of there? From
of course. We told them we're going to donate the bird poop that's in there.
Okay.
With all the broken windows and stuff. I went through the building once, and you got to step and fetch to miss that stuff. But the idea is that, for about 30 years, this building has been sitting there, and in less than 2 years since we took it, it's now being developed. And I want to give a shout out to former trustee Joni Moore and former trustee Bridget McKinley for working. We all worked together, the five of us, Ron Schoonmaker, myself, and Mayor Lamica. We decided to pull the trigger on it. We did get some negative comments that, what are you doing that for, and blah, blah, blah. Well, this is what we did it for, so that it can be purchased and developed. And I'm excited as heck about it because it's just anything that happens in our area. I heard Jackie Izzo this morning again on the repeat before the 6 o'clock show. And, she's talking up our area. And I just think our area is really, really rebounding, and it's going to be stronger than ever.
Can I ask, is this, when you say this is it's a regional company, is it, are we talking to someone from the Valley or a developer from
Yeah, I can't really go into too much detail about that, but they are local.
They are local. Okay.
And they might have partnered with somebody that's not local, but in the area.
Chuck,
and
there's
the two main developers, the two main partners are right here in our backyard.
Okay. All right.
Chuck, they've relieved the village of Ilion of any responsibility as far as cleaning, decontaminating, removing contaminants from the site?
We've had, it's on the brownfield list. There's been phase 1 and phase 2 done by the DEC. And anything else that will be done, there's going to be brownfield money that is available. There's tax credits involved. There's so much stuff, financial incentives that they will qualify for There's just too numerous to list right now.
And what I find interesting is they want the building to be as it is. I mean, how many floors is that? So it's basically an old factory.
It's a 3-floor building originally, and it's right now the main building is being talked about as mixed use.
Okay.
And then in the back part, maybe some manufacturing. And they're not looking to subdivide and sell. They're going to keep the whole thing. And,
wow.
I can't tell you how excited I am about this. It's just, and these people that are developing this, they are serious developers. They love our area. They've been involved in many projects around the area. They put their money where their mouth is, and I can't say enough about how pumped up I am about that. This is moving in the right direction, and positive things are happening not only for Ilion but for our entire area. And I'm excited to be a part of it.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm very excited to when this is all said and done. I will be one of the first ones in line at Turning Stone East, and I feel that
I'll put the kibosh to that right now. It's got nothing to do with that.
Okay, all right, okay, Chuck.
And how much again are they interested in buying it?
$100,000, right?
$100,000.
Yeah,
wow.
if the purchase offer was $100,000, they're going to put a $10,000 deposit down, and that will start the clock ticking on their 120-day due diligence. And I don't see any reason at all for them to back out after the 120 days.
I could be crazy. Didn't you originally say, like, the building was willing to be sold for $1? You just wanted it to be developed and put back on the rolls?
All I ever said was that we purchased it for less.
You guys purchased it. That's
$1,
right.
But it was more than $1.
Yeah,
more
gotcha.
99 cents, less than $1.01.
Gotcha.
And this developer, I just wanted to ask another question, just so we know on credibility of the developer. Have they done a lot of work in the Utica-Rome area, or has it been all in the valley?
Both.
Both. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. From the information I got last night, these are very serious, credible, respectable people that are dedicated to giving back to our area because our area has been good to them. And when I say our area, I don't mean just Ilion in the valley. Utica-Rome, the whole shooting match. Central New York is on the rebound, and I'm excited, like I said, to be a part of it. And I just think that listening to Jackie Izzo, I could give her a high five every time I see her because she is tremendous. And I think all the stuff that's going on around in our area is going to benefit our area tremendously.
All right. Well, speaking of Jackie's, Andrew, you ought to get Jackie Romano on. Let's see what she has to say about this. Maybe there's a company that's given a lot to the community. Now you got us guessing, Chuck.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to guess until the 120 days is up, and then we'll make the bigger splash.
All right. Okay.
But, it's just I had to get this out there because last week when I went to the Brownfield meeting and John Pizak mentioned to us that there was a potential purchaser of this. You had to peel me off the ceiling there. I about jumped out of my skin. It was unbelievable.
All right. Good
Careful
news.
with those hips.
Good news. And by the way, what people don't know about Ilion is basically landlocked. There's not a lot of room for development. One of the few places where there was room was at that Duofold site, right?
Yeah, there's pretty close to 14 acres. I think it's between 12 and 14.
Yeah.
And as I said, these developers are going to. They're not going to divide it up. They're keeping the whole thing.
Okay. All right. Okay, Chuck. Thanks for the update.
Okay.
Thanks for the tease.
All right, Billy.
Okay. Have a great day.
I went down there and took pictures when it was originally purchased or when they announced that it was purchased. And look, it's a big site and there's buildings and all that. I just didn't think it was that big, 14 acres.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look
well.
that.
One thing to keep in mind is your property is what?
Couldn't tell you.
You don't know. It's
Don't
probably.
even know.
I would think you're probably maybe a half to 3/4 of an acre because you go back.
You're easily.
You go back. You think it's an acre?
I think so.
All right. So you take 14 of your plots, if you will. Mm-hmm. It turns out that's not that big, but it is. I mean, it's large, but it's a little less than you think when you.
Yeah, I was driving around down there looking at some of the buildings. Like I said, taking photos at the time, and it's just.
Like to give you an example. Do you know Sangertown Square, so the building and all of the outside lots, do you know how much that is? That's 250 acres.
You're kidding.
No, that's
Sangertown?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, I completely made that up. I have no idea what it is. But a farmer will actually go out and they'll be like, well, there's this farm and, you get 200 acres with it. That's quite a large farm. But, sorry.
A little smaller than Sangertown, apparently.
A little bit smaller. I don't know. Maybe you could look that up, Andrew. How many acres is Sangertown? That would give you a nice perspective on how large the plot is. Yeah. Well, has Chuck put us in a position now where we're all just sitting around trying to figure out what it is?
He just wants you to stop talking about the fire department.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. But he did give some clues. So what company is a company that continues to invest in the area in Utica, Rome, and the Valley, and they would come in because they want to give back to the community. What company would that be?
He's talking about the community was so good to them, and they wanted to give back. My guess was actually River Hills.
River Hills Properties. Well, they are the fastest growing. But what would a real estate company need with all of that space?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
But they were the ones who popped into my head when he was describing that.
Yeah. They do love the area. They do. I don't see them needing manufacturing space. But Angelo.
Sangertown Square Mall is just short of 20 acres.
Okay. All right. Well, that gives you an idea.
Oh, wow. So my guess was going to be 60 acres on Sangertown. So that's, boy. You're telling me that property I was on.
If it's 20 of your lot, 20 times the size of your lot.
But still, it was the property I was on was 2/3 the size of all that at Sangertown Square.
I guess.
Actually, would you say it was?
20?
Sangertown Square's lot is 101.
It's 101 acres.
Are you sure? No. I've just got just the mall. I don't have the entire.
Okay. That sounds about
that
right.
property is
that
101.
sounds about
And I
right.
think they own a little bit of over there that hasn't been developed where they get rid of the floodwaters and that sort of thing. So it's probably a little. But that gives you, I had said 250 acres. I wasn't that far off. Well, a little bit off. So.
Looks like you need a vacation. Enter the 5-Hour Energy Where Will the Tide Take You sweepstakes. You could win a $10,000 dream beach vacation. Imagine jet setting off to a tropical paradise, having fun in the sun, or diving at a gorgeous reef. It's up to you. No purchase necessary. Go to 5HETide.com for official rules and to enter. That's 5HETide.com. Enter today. Ends June 30th, 2024.